Narrative therapy, a mouthful. Now I'm getting older now. Make simple, means therapy. Means simple, right? So afterwards, we will have a book signing thing. I want to offer you a special deal. Now, this book is based on the proceedings of the first three mini conferences. So the retail price is $25, but it's so nice to be here. I'll give you for $20. Now I'll give you $5 back. Okay?
No, I paid $20.
Oh, $20. Okay, that's good. And I will sign Dear Dan and McKenna. Now you're back. Well, okay, thank you. Now, how many people are here for the first time? Oh, that's so appreciative. Thank you for coming. Come back. The next one will be in Toronto. So every other year, one in Toronto, one in Vancouver. If somebody invite me to some help to organize a conference in Korea, I'll go there too, right? But I need a sponsor in Korea to make it happen. Or in Taiwan, or in China, anywhere. Or Japan, yeah. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Next slide. Okay. Now, are you familiar with short-term solution-focused therapy? Now, what's the difference between short-term and depth therapy? What is depth therapy? Come on, you guys take psychology, you know the answer.
Long-term psychodynamic.
Psychodynamic, good. And anything else?
Going back to childhood influences.
What kind of therapy qualifies as depth therapy? Psychoanalysis for sure, right? And what else?
Psychoanalytical?
Yes, analytical, yes. And what else?
Voice therapy.
Voice, I don't know about that. Yeah, maybe, yeah. It partly is psychodynamic, yeah. Existential, yeah. Existential analysis also depth therapy. See, depth therapy take a long time because you have to dig deep down into your life, right? Like archaeologists, digging, to uncover the repressed memories, the past trauma that somehow locked into some part of your memory that unconsciously influence your life, influence your decision. So it takes a long time to really find out, what's troubling you. It may take 2 years, 3 years. But short-term memory becomes more popular because people just don't have the money and time to visit a psychiatrist, psychologist once a week for 10 years. Or 5 years for that matter. So short-term, usually it ranges between 8 to 12, usually about around 10, right? Because it's under management care, or in Canada, insurance uncover 10 sessions. So there is an economical reality that demands short-term therapy. Okay? So usually short-term therapy is strategic because in long term, the client can be wandering around, telling stories or retelling the story. Time is not a problem. Right? Time is not a problem. But if you only have 5 sessions or 10 sessions, you have to be very strategic in what issue you want to address. You have to be very selective because now, mind you, it's not up to you. You have to work with the client and to discover what is really bothering him or her. What is really the most important issue he want to address. So it's not something just, here's my problem. The first potential problem often is a pseudo problem because the guy might not trust you, right? Cannot have this what we call existential trust. Trust you with their life. Tell you their guts. tell everything. They can't. They can't guard it. They don't know. Oh, this Paul Wang, what's like? Will he tell me? Will he tell my pastor my sexual immorality? They may not trust you enough to tell you the whole story, right? So you have to be very selective to have the judgment to say, well, what is really the core issue? What really bugging this guy, driving me crazy? The second thing that you have to be strategic in selecting intervention. For every psychologist or psychiatrist, that is a toolbox, right? All kinds of tools and tricks for the trade. So you have to decide, well, what would be the most effective tool to help that person for a short period of time? Now, a few years ago, I was invited to speak by the Hong Kong Medical Department Ministry, okay, to speak to a group of occupational therapists, for their convention. So I give them 2 days of talk on immunotherapy. So afterwards, the guy in charge of the big hospital, he's a chief occupational therapist for the hospital, invited me to his office. On his desk, there is a sign saying, "Meaning is all we need." He's very proud to show me that. I said, "But that's what I said." A couple days ago, exactly. He said, "After listening to your talk, I'm convinced that meaning is more important than physical." So it used to be, if you only have one session, he would tell the client that, you got to know how to place your arm or how to walk. He said, now I discover if I have only 1 hour, I make sure that my client got the idea that life is worth living. That there is meaning and hope in life, regardless how handicapped you are, how limited you are in your movement, how painful it is to recover from the injury. I said, well, that, to me, is more important than all the physical things. So you have to be very, very selective in terms of what intervention strategy you want to use first, okay? The third part that you have to be strategic in moving the process forward. Now, Yalom, often say, "Oh, you might not trust me, but you got to trust the process. Let the process take its place. Let the process move forward, wherever it might lead to." But that might lead to forever because the climate should run around. It might take forever. So you have to be more intentional in moving the process forward swiftly. But you have to be careful not to rush it, right? You have to pace yourself. If you rush yourself, you'll be counterproductive. Now, if you spend too much on some trivial issue, you're wasting precious time, right? So you have to make a judgment and say, "Oh, I want to have 8 sessions. Why, 8 sessions or 10 sessions? I'm not going to spend 6 sessions on some trivial things, trivial issues." So you have to be very, very selective, okay? So any question about this particular slide? Next. Oh, now this is interesting. Hello. How are you doing? Goodbye. That's a process, okay? But there's so much involved in each process. For example, somebody wrote a book on hello. This is written by a Gestalt psychologist about how to say hello. Should I shake your hand or should I not? Should I, there's a lot of discussion because every gesture, every expression can have some impact on the client, right? So the question is that you make your presence known, okay, and get connected with your client. So I'm going to ask two gentlemen here to demonstrate two different kinds of saying hello. Okay, the first gentleman will be a psychiatrist and MD psychotherapist, Dr. Chris Moran. Come here. Okay, and I will have a client, this lovely lady from Korea, Mira Kim. Now, I know. Okay, so you watch them. Okay, you sit earlier. Okay, I'll you sit there. Let me give you more room. Put it back a little bit. Okay. Now, Mira, you are the where's Mira? Oh, no, come this way, Mira, come down this way. So you gotta make it. So
Horticulture client.
say kind so you may put your book. Now, this is your office, okay? And he come into your office.
No, I would go out to that.
No, you sit here, but this is your office, okay?
Okay.
And so you knock. Okay, you want to see whom do you want to see?
Okay.
Whom do you want to see? Do you want to see Dr. Mora?
No, the first time.
No, you want to see him, okay? Okay.
How do you do? Name of Morant. Chris Morant. How do you do? Yes. No, have a seat. Would you like some coffee?
No thanks.
You're all right, are you? Okay, if you change your mind, just sing out. Well, what's been happening to you?
I don't know what I'm doing now.
You don't know what you're doing now?
Yeah, I came from Korea 14 years ago by myself. And I have lots of difficulties. I changed my career and everything. But now it's 14 years. All those things. You know, I don't know what I was doing. 14 years in a foreign country. I had a pretty good life in Korea. I just came and just faced some difficulties in learning language. And when I came here, I could offer write yes or no. And still, the language is a big issue to me, and culture, and I don't know why I came here.
Were you coming to something, or were you running away from something?
I'm run away from something.
Were you coming here with some hopes? Were you leaving something you didn't want behind?
Yeah. Actually, I'm a kind of person to set up goal and achieve and go set another goal. Coming to Canada was my another kind of destiny, purpose, kind of why I came here. The reason I set the goal, that is one of the goals, to do something, but I don't know what I hope for.
Did you have any fantasy or dream when you were about to come to Canada?
14 years ago, it's difficult to remember. Probably maybe I wanted to be happy. So I thought maybe if I came to Canada, maybe I would be very happy. But I feel like I got lost.
Were you not happy in Korea?
Why?
You were not happy in Korea?
I don't think I was happy when I was in Korea.
What was wrong?
Okay, thank you very much. A good opening. Give me a hand. Now, that is not rehearsed. You know, they don't know each other before. Not rehearsed. She's my friend. He's my friend. About that.
What is the real case?
All right, thank you.
So they deserve another round of applause.
Okay. Okay, you can see him after the conference. Okay, you can see him. Okay. Now the next demonstration is by the great Jeff Thompson. He's an existential humanistic psychologist. He's the clinical director of Sunshine Coast, Jeff Thompson. Now I'm going to pick a kind for you. Steve, where's Steve? Okay, I have this wild man, Steve. the wild man from the West. Okay, now you're the kind now. You walk up, okay? Knock on door.
Hi, Stephen Bro. Hi, John. How's that? Yeah, have a seat there. And I'll turn off my phone. Sure we are. I wondered if you had someplace you wanted to start, or... Sure, Vancouver, I'm hoping to visit it next summer. As a participant in the program? Yes, yeah. Kind of work through it. A couple of years, but yeah. Was it, seemed a bit uncomfortable talking about that. Yes. So what would be going on for you right now when you think about this? Well, I'm wondering, how to get around. How would you for him? Yeah, how I can screw it up and how we feel it. So you're feeling maybe some part of you contributed? I think I'm part of it. It's going to be pretty tough on the father. Yeah, there's been really tough on the father. So there was there something, for example, that you wanted to see me about at this moment? Well, I'm kind of wondering, just had all of these conversations, lots of people that's very intense kind of work. And I'm kind of not sure about how I should be around that. Now that he's changed from a mind.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, are there any differences between Dr. Moran and Jeff Thompson? Are there any differences you can see? Any differences? Can you see the differences in saying hello? Lou, what is the difference? You see the differences?
Yes, the voice tone, and he asked for a copy. He asked if he could offer a copy.
Yeah.
And he would take off his clothes and to switch off his phone.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it's not disturbed. It's different way of try to make the client more comfortable.
Okay. So there the most similarity between the two, but is there any difference you notice?
I find the dynamics quite different. So for the first pair, I could see there are some differences in gender, a man and a woman, and also there are some cultural differences. The client seems to see you as some kind of like authority.
So what's wrong with that?
Good observation.
Power difference. Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
think.
okay.
The second pair maybe, yeah.
Okay. More equal. Okay. Any other observation?
The first one was very cognitively based, stayed like quick, fast responses. The second one very slower paced, immediately down into emotions
Okay.
and very core.
Okay.
Using some silence.
Yeah.
Body language.
Thank you. Actually, thank you very much. Actually, I picked Dr. Moran. I thought he will represent the medical model, right? The medical model. But he's actually, medical model usually, the presence a medical doctor present is more the professional presence. I'm the authority, and I know how to fix you. Now, tell me what's wrong, so I can prescribe some medicine or fix you. But he's different, and he's more more humanistic, more, so more cognitive. Okay. Now Jeff is a humanistic existential through and through, right? You can see there's more empathy. There's more empathy. It's more focused on the person rather than the problem, right? So he's probing various problems, and motive. Jeff is more concerned with Steve as a person, right? It's more interested in the person. Yes.
Having said that, I did observe the client was different too.
Yeah.
So the first one actually went deeper and was able to get more information from the client. Now that had something to do probably with the client themselves. But I wonder if the second time the not being prepared.
But
discomfort.
I mean, she mentioned that already. The dynamic different, but still, the how you project your presence. Okay, even before the client say a word. Okay, there are some differences in terms of your training. There's some differences in your training. Okay, one is more problem focused. The other one is more person focused. Right, I mean, so something like that. Okay, but for me. Okay, for me, as a meeting therapist, the difference is how to balance between your professional self and your real self. So that to me is the trick, right? How much do you want to show your professional side, the authority, the expert, or the vulnerable, the human side? That is just like the client suffering from existential concerns and limitations. So that is issue we have to decide for ourselves. Okay, how much of your professional side you want to review, but personally, I prefer just because I'm old enough to earn the right to be myself. People say, oh, he's old. Okay. He's free to do whatever he wants. So I have this freedom, okay? I don't have to worry too much about what other people say. So I'm more free. But if you're a student, if you want to be yourself, your supervisor might fail you, right? You have to sit a certain way. You have to maintain a posture a certain way. You have to make eye contact, but not too much. So I mean, you can't walk around like me, right? You can't walk around like me. You're a student, right? So when you are accomplished, established, and older, then you have freedom. So really it's a balance how to the professional self and personal self. Both parts are important. Both are important. Okay? How are you doing? We'll talk about that, and then goodbye. Right, next slide.